G'day and welcome to the final episode of Robbo's Wrap, a brief look at the best bits of the Aussie Athletics action in the build-up to the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games. And it's getting beyond exciting now as it's only 6 days to go until the big dance kicks off up there at the Gold Coast for the XXI Games. But before we get into the final rundown to the Games, let's look back at some of the action from the last couple of weeks. And on the weekend just gone, we saw the Half Marathon World Championships taking place in Valencia, in Spain, the City of Running as it's known, and a team of 5 Australians were sent over there to take part in the championships, and they managed to produce some great results. In the women's race, Sinead Diver ran a PB of 71.40 to come 23rd, closely followed by Ellie Pashley finishing 24th in also a PB of 71.43. While in the men's race, it was Collis Birmingham who unfortunately fall in the early stages of the race, but he managed to dust himself off and finish the race in 63.44, 62nd place for him. In behind him was Dejan Gabriselesi running a PB of 63.47 for 66th place, and Tom DeCanto also running a PB with 64.18, good enough for 72nd place. We also recently saw the Australian Junior Athletics Championships taking place in Sydney over 5 days, producing a large number of fantastic performances including PBs, meet records, Youth Olympic Games qualifiers and World Under-20 qualifiers, with a number of athletes bagging their spots for the Under-20 World Champs in Tampere in Finland a little bit later on in the year. In fact, a team of 57 Aussies have been selected officially for the flight to Finland, and fantastic stories coming out of the group. I managed to catch up with a few of them to see if they've been brushing up on their Finnish facts. For me, and we'll just sort of see here. You point to what you think is Finland for us, mate.
I would say just around in the middle there.
You're close, you're close. Come up a bit. Up a bit more. Keep going with that little finger. There we go. Well done. That's Finland.
Too easy.
The official language of Finland is?
Finnish.
Correct. You're 1 from 1. Tell us everything you know about Finland in 20 seconds.
It's in Europe?
Correct.
Oh, thanks.
That's one thing.
Yeah,
Good.
This is its flag.
2. Well done.
They speak Finnish.
3 things. Well done.
Thank you.
So the World Junior Championship will be in Tampere. The national sport is javelin. Although I'm not a javelin thrower, my favourite javelin thrower is Tero Pikkamäki, who's from Finland. What else? It's in the Northern Hemisphere. This is the flag.
Now, the same weekend as the Junior Nationals was the Sydney Summer of Athletics Grand Prix meet, and there was a great mix of international and local stars taking part, none bigger than current Olympic 1500 metre gold medalist Matt Centrowitz, who took out the 1500 metres for men fairly comfortably from Jeff Risley. But the story to really make the headlines was a bit further back in the field, where Jared Clifford, running a PB of 3:45, managed to break the world record for his classification. He was paced by Michael Roger in the race, unofficially, who also broke the world record in his classification. But for Jared Clifford, that gets him on the plane to Finland for the Under-20 Able-Bodied World Championships, which I believe is the first time a para-athlete has managed to do that. And a fantastic story, and we wish Jared all the very best. On the night, there was also some strong performances from Aussies Danny Stevens, Riley Day, Bendiria Boyer, Brooks Stratton in the long jump, and also Lyndon Hall blistering around to the win in the 3,000 metres. Then the Grand Prix circuit moved up the road to Brisbane, where unfortunately the weather didn't cooperate.
Come to Australia, it'll be sunny, they said. Summer of Athletics Grand Prix.
What's it like in Glasgow right now?
Probably about 3 degrees and raining.
But it was still a good opportunity for the local athletes and the internationals to have a hit out before the Games. Standouts for the Aussies on the night: Pat Tiernan winning the 5,000 metres in 13:40, Georgia Griffiths winning the 1,500 metres, Josh Ralph taking out the 800 metres, and what about this? Curtis Marshall, well, he got the win in the men's pole vault, but not before a bit of the furniture had to be rearranged. And just when you thought you'd seen it all at an athletics track, check this out. And so here we have a little bit of maintenance on the run. Nothing that the team at QSAT can't handle. But Curtis Marshall going to be going into the men's pole vault comp shortly. And one of these uprights on the discus cage is in his way. So what do you do when Curtis needs a clear runway? You get the forklift and you give it some grunt. Should have it down before too long and get things ready for the men's pole vault. Talk us through it, mate. You ever had to do that before?
Yeah, I've had to do it once before. It's fantastic, mate. Yeah,
Look like you're loving your work out there.
I do like it, mate.
Yeah, I can tell. There you go, so all good? All clear?
All good to go. Pole vaulters away soon.
QSAC maintenance, I reckon it's the best track maintenance crew in the world.
Queensland's awesome.
There you go. And one of the other standout performances on the night was Matt Denny throwing a PB in the hammer of 74 metres 77, the furthest by an Aussie for over 12 years. I caught up with him outside the cage just after his comp, and here's what he had to say. How are you feeling ahead of the upcoming Com Games down the Gold Coast?
Mate, pretty keen. Just did a PB and hammer, which was pretty good considering how it actually felt, and a lot more to put together. So, and a bit frustrating at the same time because it got rained out, and it just wasn't worth risking the potential for injury and all that sort of stuff to, take pride into account and try and beat Chris. But we're just training through, and it was good to get a PB. So just keen for next week for disc comp, and then who can't be excited for commies? So. And 2 events, mate. Yeah. You're going to be fine to get through all that. You're going to have some big days. Yeah. Well, luckily with commies, there's a good break, and we've sort of worked that out, and how we're going to time the recovery and what we need to do to be feeling fresh for men's discus straight after hammer. So, good little break in between, but nothing we can't handle. And what moment would you love to see happen at the Gold Coast Com Games? For myself or for other athletes? You answer it however you like. Oh, mate. For myself, obviously double gold, but that's any athlete's dream is to win, and especially in front of a home crowd. But we're just looking forward. I'm keen to see all the other athletes and us as a country show the Commonwealth and world what we've got, and have some fun on some home turf. So. Awesome, mate. Go and smash it. Thanks, mate. Cheers. And then finally, last night, again up in Brisbane, it was the Queensland International Track Classic. And it really was the closest thing you could get to a condensed single-day Commonwealth Games program. Such was the calibre of Aussie and international stars taking part. Highlights for the Aussies on the night included Brooke Stratton jumping a 688-metre jump for second in the long jump, Chelsea Lee Roberts throwing 64.57 to win the javelin, and Luke Matthews getting the win in 3:37.16 in the men's 1500. Both relay teams, the Aussie men's and women's 4x100 metre relay teams, getting a good hit out. So a great hit out for all those Aussies taking part last night. But a couple of big names that the crowd were there to see last night in the men's 200 metres. Isaac Makwala from Botswana, he had a comfortable win there. And from Jamaica in the men's 100 metres, Johan Blake the Beast. Well, he was on show as well, getting the win there. I think 10:34 into the wind. But we're going to see those fellas and many, many more stars strutting their stuff on the track and in the field come games time. Now, I know we focus on the Aussies predominantly here on Robbo's Wrap, but one of my correspondents, Darren Lewin, and Darren's been keeping an eye on the athletes from Guernsey, one of the 71 nations who will be competing on the Gold Coast, and he caught up with them a few weeks ago.
These 2 lads are highly dedicated to their sport, and they're representing Guernsey in the Commonwealth Games. Cam's going to be doing the 400 flat, and Ali's going to be doing the 400 hurdles, and they're both going to be doing the relays. What's your goal for the Commonwealth Games, Alex?
It's just to really run a time and just do my best. I'm going to try and go for the World Juniors time, which is 51.3, so I'm going to really push for that. Hopefully the training out there and the conditions will really bring it all together and I'll run that.
Now, I managed to catch up with Sam Wellbridge, one of the members of the 4x400 relay team from Guernsey. He's also was down to start in the 400 metre hurdles until, unfortunately, he has suffered a shock injury. He's broken his collarbone in a training accident, and that's ruled him out of competition on the Gold Coast. So, unfortunate for Sam, unfortunate also for the Guernsey 4x400 relay team. So we send Sam and the Guernsey 4x400 team big cheer on behalf of everyone watching the show, and recover well. We'll see you back on the track soon, hopefully, mate. Well, as I said at the top of the show, we're into the final week now. Athletes are getting excited. Parents, spectators, coaches, fans, all around the world, all around the Commonwealth, people are just talking games fever. So we're seeing it on social media, and as you can see here, athletes getting their kit. Isn't that an exciting moment? They're heading to the pre-games camp for the Aussie athletes. That's at Nudgee College in Brisbane. They're making their final preparations. They're sitting around playing a lot of Jenga, I'm finding, as well. But yeah, it's exciting all the way up and down the coast, not only in Queensland, but right around the country. A reminder that the athletics program doesn't start until Sunday the 8th of April. We've got the men's and women's 20k walks happening at Currumbin to kick off, and then it'll be going daily all the way through until the athletics program concludes on Sunday the 15th of April with the men's and women's able-bodied and wheelchair marathon. So it's set to be a crackerjack program. Aussies are set to do very, very well. We're going to see some great international performances as well, I have no doubt. But good luck to all the 109 para-athletes and able-bodied athletes competing for Australia in athletics, led by co-captains Kurt Fernley and Sally Pearson. We've got a great mixture of experience and youth this year. And a shout out as well to the 8 members of the Aussie Athletics team who will be competing at a second home Commonwealth Games. If you can figure out who they are, let us know in the comments below. We might be able to send you a headband or a high five with Borrowby as a prize. Let's see if you can figure that out. But we want to give a huge cheer to everyone taking part up there at the Com Games. I'll be there, Borrowby will be there. We'll be cheering the house down, and we absolutely can't wait. Well, that's it for this week's show. Thanks again for joining us and for joining us in the past episodes as well. Enjoy all the action from up there on the Gold Coast, and go you Aussies.